Mark from Sound Matters here with another vinyl video. It's a big topic this time because we're covering how to clean vinyl records. There's a lot to get into here, so let's get straight into the video. So the first step in any record cleaning process should be to dry clean the record first using a carbon fibre record brush such as this AudioQuest one that you can see on the screen here. Essentially the theory being we want to remove as much of that loose stuff as possible before progressing to any wet cleaning method so that we avoid spreading around loose dust or even worse pushing it further into the grooves, making our job particularly difficult further down the line and possibly even making the record sound worse. So there is a correct way of doing this. So you place the record onto the turntable and set it spinning. You gently hold the brush over the record so that the carbon fibres just tickle the surface. We don't want to squash the brush as this will stop the fibres from entering the groove properly. So you then tilt the brush so that the back fibres pick up anything that the front fibres have not picked up, and then you allow the record to spin a couple more times and then lift it gently from the record surface. We can use the handle to clean the brush and then repeat the entire process again if required. Okay, so once we're happy that the carbon fibre record brush has removed as much of that surface dust as possible, that loose stuff, then we're safe to move to a wet cleaning solution with a record cleaning fluid. For a record cleaning fluid, I use Groove Washer. I've tested several record cleaning solutions on the market, and this one is by far the best that I've come across. It's a one-step cleaning solution that's highly effective, doesn't leave any residue on the record, it's gentle on the record itself, and will restore the sound of records so long as they're not damaged. You know, let's not be unrealistic here. No record cleaning fluid is going to remove or deal with scratches or any groove wall damage that's happened over the years. But in terms of, restoring the record in terms of any dirt and dust and everything that might be in there, Groove Washer is an incredibly effective solution and I highly recommend it. I'll put a link in the description, and I'm happy to say that Sound Matters readers and viewers are entitled to get 10% off their order, and the full details of that will be in the description below. Now the kit that I've got open here is their full Mondo kit, so that comes with everything that you could need. So it comes with a lovely box like this, and it comes with this great landing pad to clean your record safely on, and inside the box is your big bottle full of G2 fluid, a label protector to put on top of the label so we don't get it wet, and it comes with this really beautiful solid walnut handle and display block, which houses everything that is the core part of the kit. So you've got the spray bottle here, which is the one we'll use day to day for record cleaning. We've got the pad here that is attached to this beautiful walnut handle. This is solid American walnut, beautiful product. And although we're not covering how to clean stylus here, it does come with a stylus cleaning kit as well. So this is everything you can need for day to day record care in one box. However, of course, that does come, at a little bit more of a premium price. So for those who are on a budget, you can get straight into Groove Washer using one of their more affordable kits, such as this Commando kit here. So that comes with this spray bottle here, a microfiber cloth to clean with, and a top-up bottle. So again, link in the description below. Oh, there is the label protector in this pack as well. So everything you can need to get started, and that's really not a lot of money at all. I think, from memory, it's around $20 or so to get a simple kit like this. So description, the link below, but let's get into how to use the kit step by step, shall we? Right, so step by step, this is how it's done. We're going to place the record onto the landing towel. If you don't have a landing towel as part of your kit, then you can use a large microfiber cloth. Just make sure it's lint free and make sure that it's clean. So we're now going to place the record label protector there, and we're going to spray the record with around 5 to 6 sprays of the G2 cleaning fluid. Now how much you use will depend on how dirty the record is, but I find around sort of 5 to 6 sprays is pretty good. You can do it all the way around the record. You can wait 10 seconds now, and you'll be able to see it actually spread through the grooves. It has very low surface tension, so you'll see the way that this fluid is designed and the kind of the ingredients that they use in it makes it very low surface tension, enables it to penetrate the groove very nicely. So once we've waited 10 seconds, we're then going to take our walnut handle cleaning pad here, and we're going to take the leading edge of that, and we're going to with arcs like this, we're going to spread it around the entire record surface. So this will spread the clean solution to anywhere where it hasn't already penetrated, and we're going to repeat this in this arc pattern like this 3 times at least around the record. So just bear with me whilst I do that. So once we've gone around 3 times, we're going to start to gently rotate the handle, so we got more onto the dry side of the pad, and this is going to absorb any of the record cleaning fluid that we haven't already picked up, and it's also going to gently groom the record surface. So again, just bear with me whilst I do that. So with the record cleaning, or the record surface now nice and clean, we're going to have a visual inspection for any kind of troublesome areas. So if there were any areas of the record where there's anything stubborn on there, we want to kind of visually inspect it and see whether there's anything that's still lingering on the surface, and if there are, then we can kind of spray, we can spot spray in those areas and clean again. Now for moderately dirty records, you may find that 1 clean is enough, but G2 fluid is designed to be very gentle by nature on the record, so very heavily dirty records may require 2 to 3 cleans to fully clean up the record. If you find that you put the record on the turntable and the stylus starts to plough dust, take the record off again and give it another clean. Now patience will be rewarded with this, and you don't want to use a heavy-handed cleaner on a record as it may damage the record surface, so I find that this is a highly effective cleaner that is gentle on the records. Now Groove Washer have actually come out with a slightly stronger version, so there's the new G3 fluid that they create, but that's a 2-step process, so you're going to have to clean with G3, which will be slightly more proactive in terms of removing stubborn stuff on the records, but the trade-off is that you'll have to use a secondary step, which is distilled water over the surface of the record. We've got another video on using the new G3 fluid, which I can put in the description below, and you can learn more about. However, for the moment we cover G2, because in most circumstances G2 is going to be enough to clean the record. So once we clean the record, allow that record surface to air dry for at least 15 to 30 seconds before we put the record on the turntable and start to enjoy it. Now one of the great things as well as cleaning the record here is that by using a fluid, we've actually discharged the record surface of any static as well at the same time, which is why it's important to leave the cleaning fluid on the surface for a little while, at least 10 seconds before we start to actually use the pad and clean it, because that fluid actually discharges static at the same time, but leaving it on there will also just give the fluid a little bit of time to work. So before we move on to the next section of this guide, it's worth mentioning that you can lightly apply Groove Washer to a record whilst it's on the turntable, before playback. This is light grooming before playback. It's best to take the record away from the turntable for very heavy cleaning, for very heavily soiled used records, but for a light spruce up before playback, we can do this safely on the turntable so long as we're careful. Same process that I've described applies. Use a little bit less record cleaning fluid for this kind of purpose, and just be very careful not to spill record cleaning fluid all over your turntable. Of course, make sure that the record is entirely dry before that stylus hits the record, because we don't want to be playing back wet records. So on to part 2 of our How to Clean Vinyl Records guide is about vinyl record cleaning machines. So these are terrific investments if you can justify the budget. So this is a project unit that I have here called the VCE, which is the little brother, if you like, of its larger version, which is the VCS2 Alu, which we've reviewed over at the website before and on YouTube actually, and they're terrific investments. I actually find I've got the smaller unit here. I find that for my living circumstances, in terms of the space that I've got, and English homes are significantly smaller than a lot of homes in Europe, let alone sort of North America, where houses tend to be a little bit bigger. This is a nice compact version of the unit, and I find the performance is just as good. So it's a vacuum-based record cleaning system that has an arm like this that obviously, you know, the benefit here is that you're going to actually suck all of that record cleaning solution off of the record surface. Now, cleaning records by hand is very, very effective, and so long as you keep the microfiber towel clean, then that's going to work very, very well. But of course, it's beneficial to be able to actually suck all of that record cleaning solution directly off the surface of the record. So the other thing is, of course, that, you know, if you're cleaning a lot of records in one sitting, then this is going to drastically speed up the process for you. So without, you know, messing about any further or waffling any further on, I'll get straight into how to clean a record using a vacuum-based cleaner such as this one. Place your record through the spindle and secure the record using the supplied clamp. You want to do this firmly but not too tightly. This will help to protect the record label but also secure the record in place. You want to apply just enough of the record cleaning solution to cover the surface of the record. You can use the supplied brush to spread it and the rocker switches on the side of the unit to rotate the record in both directions whilst applying. This will make sure that the solution fully penetrates the groove. Leaving the fluid on the record surface for a while will give it time to work, and when you're ready, you can move the vacuum arm from its resting place over to the surface of the record. Using the rocker switches on the side, we can apply the vacuum and start rotating the record. One rotation clockwise and another anti-clockwise is usually enough to remove all of the record cleaning solution. Although Project do supply their own approved record cleaning fluid with this vacuum, I also like to use a little bit of groove washer with this unit. So here you can see me applying some G3 record cleaning fluid from Groove Washer to the record surface. This is their slightly stronger record cleaning solution that they make, but it does require a secondary rinse stage. So apply the G3 fluid, which is perfect for very, very dirty records, but then you need to wash all that away using a secondary rinse stage. So apply the G3, vac all that out of the record, and then using a separate microfiber towel, of course, you should apply some of that GSR rinse step. You could use distilled water as well, but their GSR fluid has a slightly lower surface tension, and that means that it's going to get down into the record grooves much easier. So it's good to use the GSR as well, but you do need to apply that secondary step and of course vac that out of the record as well. If you do need to clean a lot of records in one go, in one sitting, and your budget won't stretch to a record cleaning machine, then you could look at something like the Spin Clean Record Washer, which is a much more affordable solution for batch cleaning vinyl records. So this is the Spin Clean Record Washer, and it essentially works by giving your records a bath, right? So I'm just going to go through exactly how this system works and how you can clean your records on batch with the Spin Clean. Insert the rollers at the appropriate position depending on the size of the record that you're about to clean. Then make sure that the cleaning pads are firmly pressed into the centre of the basin. Now fill the tank with distilled water up to the maximum height line that's clearly marked inside the basin. Take the supplied record cleaning fluid and apply one capful over the cleaning pads. Now insert your record carefully and begin to rotate it. So you want to do 3 rotations clockwise and then 3 rotations anti-clockwise as well, making sure that you get all of that record surface nice and clean. The idea is, of course, that any of the dust and dirt and debris that comes off the record will sink to the bottom of the basin of the unit. After you finish rotating the record, you want to carefully remove it from the basin and place it onto a safe surface for drying. There are 2 white towels provided with the unit for this purpose, however I prefer to use a clean microfiber cloth instead. The Spin Clean can clean up to 20 to 30 records with each time that you fill up that basin, and while it's a little bit more laborious than say a Project vacuum-based record cleaning system, it is a very affordable way to batch clean a whole bunch of your records. The third and final part of our ultimate guide to clean vinyl records is our pro tips and frequently asked questions section. So tip number 1 is that you should clean your microfiber cloths and replace them regularly. So when cleaning vinyl records by hand in particular, it's imperative that you keep that cloth clean and avoid spreading dirt from one record to the next. So you can use distilled water and a little bit of dish detergent to gently clean those microfiber cloths, and such as the groove washer option that we talked about in the article. So you want to thoroughly rinse the pad, and you want to follow that up by squeezing it out all of the moisture and allowing it to air dry overnight. I would avoid putting microfiber towels in the washing machine, as they may pick up unwanted lint and this could contaminate them or then even damage your records. Tip number 2 is that you should avoid using tap water, dish soap or other household cleaning products such as Windex or something like that. So tap water should be avoided at all costs, particularly if you live in a very hard water area like I do, and the reason is that regular tap water contains impurities and in my case a lot of lime scale, so this can leave mineral deposits on your record and it could contaminate and damage those records over time. So as for dish soap and household cleaning products, it's much safer to use a purpose-made record cleaning fluid, as you just don't know what could be in those cleaning products, and they're not designed for that purpose and they could contain damaging ingredients. It's not something, I know some people will kind of scream at me and say, no, I do it all the time and it's perfectly safe, but from my perspective, and this is just the way I view it, and you do your thing, you do what you want to do, but personally for me, I don't really want to use something like Windex or dish soap or anything like that on my records. I'd much rather trust a purpose-made record cleaning solution by people who know what they're doing. Tip number 3, and this is another one that may cause some controversy, and I'm sure a few people will scream at me for saying so, but avoid using alternative cleaning methods such as things like wood glue. So the wood glue cleaning method is popular among some collectors, and while ultimately it's each to their own in terms of how you clean your records, it's not something that we advocate at Sound Matters. So the process essentially involves spreading solid layer of wood glue all over the record surface, avoiding the label of course, and then when you leave it to air dry, say overnight for example, the glue dries clear and it picks up all the dirt and dust deep into the groove. So that's the idea. So it's the whole idea behind it, but then you peel it off and all of the kind of grime and horribleness kind of comes with it. Now, I wouldn't really like to risk this on a rare or expensive record personally. What if the wood glue doesn't peel off in one piece? What if little bits of it are left behind, any residue or something like that? And not to mention that it's a very time consuming way of cleaning records as well. At one side per night in terms of the drying time properly for solidly cleaning wood glue over a record surface, it would take you a heck of a long time to complete an entire collection. So why do this when you could just use a record cleaning solution that is not particularly expensive, such as something like groove washer or whatever you choose to use. We use groove washer, it's not particularly expensive, and you can clean a lot of vinyl records with it. Why use a sledgehammer to kill a fly, essentially? Tip number 4 is avoid cleaning fluids with high amounts of isopropyl alcohol. So there's a lot of debate about this as to whether or not it's safe. And firstly, you should never use isopropyl alcohol on shellac records, for example, as this will dissolve the surface. But also modern PVC vinyl, it's thought by many that it can cause leaching of the plasticizers and make them brittle and subject to excessive wear. So many record cleaners contain some isopropyl alcohol as part of the mix, but as a rule, we recommend essentially steering clear of any fluids that contain a high amount of alcohol. If you can smell alcohol in the record cleaner, then chances are it's using far too much. So, again, why use a sledgehammer to kill a fly? And lots of people like to make up their own record cleaning solutions at home, and that's up to you. You do you. I would prefer to avoid doing so. I much prefer to just buy a record cleaning solution that's made and has been researched well by people who know what they're doing. But you do what you want to do. But a lot of people will use isopropyl alcohol in various quantities in terms of the mix, with distilled water and things like that to make up their own home brewed kind of batches of record cleaner. And it's up to you, but essentially I personally would avoid using anything that has a very high amount of isopropyl alcohol in the cleaning solution information, and certainly on Shalat records it's a no-no. So that concludes today's video. We hope you enjoyed it and we hope you found it useful. I'll pop a description below with all of the resources and tools and everything that I've mentioned here throughout this video, so that's really handy for you. And I'll also put a link towards some of our articles at the website where you can find step-by-step instructions and some of the before and after samples that we've done in the past. So thank you ever so much for watching. Please like, comment and subscribe to the channel if you would like, and if you like the t-shirt that I'm wearing, please head over to yoursoundmatters.com where you can purchase that from our online store. So thanks ever so much, and we'll see you in the next video. Cheers, bye.